Well, hello, good afternoon. It's Reverend Tim on January 6, 2021. And as I am speaking to you from my heart to yours, we know that the Capitol building is under assault and democracy is under assault. I've been thinking about the last time I was in the Capitol building, and if you've been blessed to be able to be there, you know what? It's a sacred experience. It was May 14th. No, it was May 15th, 2018. I was in Washington for the kickoff of the Poor People's Campaign with other Unitarian Universalists from around the country and our president of the denomination, Reverend Susan. The day after the kickoff, I actually went and toured the Capitol building. And what struck me was its beauty and it's quiet. There's a quietness to it. It's almost like the kind of quiet that you find when you're sitting in an empty church or cathedral. And the Capitol building is a cathedral. It's a cathedral to the idea that all people deserve a voice, or as we say in Unitarian Universalism in our principles, that we believe in the use of the democratic process. For us, democracy, people having a voice and having that voice heard and be counted, is a religious principle. And I love that in the context of the origins of the word religion, because religion is based on a word that means to bind back together. I like to think to make whole. So at its best, religion is meant to bind us back together, to make us whole. And at its best, and I'll admit unfulfilled, but it's our attempt, that's what democracy attempts to do. It attempts to give everyone a voice, everyone a vote, and assure that those votes are counted. And then with that process, we bind everyone back together again and make whole. And you really get a sense of that in the Capitol. So it broke my heart on so many levels to see that building desecrated with guns, desecrated with division, with hate, stoked, as we know, from the highest office in the land. It's immoral, is what that is. I've been thinking of the words of the great Universalist minister Olympia Brown, who was the first woman ordained by a denomination in this country to be a minister. So it was the first denominationally ordained reverend, so Reverend Olympia Brown in 1863. She said, "We can never make the world safe by fighting. We can never make the world safe by fighting. You may say this is impractical, far away, can never be accomplished, but it is the work we are appointed to do. Sometime, somehow, somewhere, we must ever teach this great lesson. We can never make the world safe by fighting." Olympia Brown. I was also thinking about love, because love is at the core of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Love is at the core of the ministry that Olympia Brown was called to. As a Universalist, she believed that God's love was big enough to hold ultimately all people. A beautiful, beautiful message at a time when many other religions and denominations were talking about divisions of those who were selected or elect and those who were not. And Olympia preached a message of eternal and universal love. Love. When I think of love, I always put an L, a period, an O, a period, a V period, and then an E period. And I think of love as living out the value of everyone and everything. Living out the value of everyone and everything. And as we know, that injustice is what love looks like in public. So this is what one great writer and poet said love is. You'll know these words. They're probably the best known and probably most often quoted words that come from the Christian scriptures. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. I'm going to repeat that one again. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. I'm going to say that again. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. I'm going to say that one again too. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. In the end, three things remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Love is at the heart of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno, our church community. And in this moment of uncertainty and fear because of pandemic, uncertainty and fear because of divisions in our country, uncertainty and fears because of this unprecedented assault on democracy, it's good to know you are not alone. We are not alone because we have each other. We are members of this fabulous place called the Unitarian Universalist Church of Fresno. A Unitarian Universalist minister, Mark Morrison Reed, who is a prophetic voice in our denomination and a great chronicler of both the history of Black Unitarian Universalists, but also the history of discrimination against Black Unitarian Universalists throughout our history. He writes, "The task of the religious community." And I really want us to listen to this because this is a reminder of why we're together, why we are together. The central task of the religious community is to unveil the bonds that bind each to all. Now, that goes back to what I said earlier, that at its best, religion is supposed to bind us back together, to make us whole. The central task of the religious community is to unveil the bonds that bind each to all. There is a connectedness, a relationship discovered amid the particulars of our own lives and the lives of others. Once felt, it inspires us to act for justice. It is the church that assures us that we are not struggling for justice on our own, but as members of a larger community. The religious community is essential, for alone our vision is too narrow to see all that must be seen, and our strength too limited to do all that must be done. Together, our vision widens and our strength is renewed. I'm going to say that one again. Together, our vision widens and our strength is renewed. And so, dear ones, on this day, January 6th, 2021, we are together. We are together as a religious community, as a church community, as a people of faith who put love at the center of our choices, love at the center of our actions, love at the center of our words, love at the center of our shared being. And so on this day, together, our vision widens and our strength is renewed. I leave you with one more thought, one more quote about love, because after all, Unitarian Universalists are the love people. And it is this: there is a love holding you. There is a love holding all that you love. There is a love holding all. You rest in this love. We rest in this love. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. I'll be thinking of you and holding you in my heart through the rest of